Listen to me right now. This is not another message. This is a moment appointed by God. Something has shifted in the unseen realm, and you can feel it even if you cannot explain it. Your spirit has been restless. Your heart has been pounding with expectation, and deep inside you know that what you have been waiting for is no longer far away. God is moving, not slowly, not cautiously. God is moving with intention, with power, with precision, and your victory is finally here. You did not survive what you survived just to remain where you are. You did not endure sleepless nights, silent tears, hidden battles, and unanswered questions just to stay stuck. God has been arranging, aligning, and preparing, and now the season has changed. There are times when God works quietly, almost invisibly, and there are times when God moves so clearly that even your enemies cannot deny it. You are stepping into one of those moments. What you thought was delay was actually divine preparation. What you thought was rejection was God's protection. What you thought was silence was God building something deeper within you. God never wastes pain. God never ignores faith. God never forgets a promise. Every prayer you whispered when no one was watching, every time you chose trust over fear, every moment you stood firm when everything around you was shaking, God recorded it all, and now the harvest is ready. Some of you have been standing at the edge of breakthrough for so long that disappointment tried to convince you it would never happen. But hear this clearly: delay is not denial. Waiting is not failure. Silence is not absence. God has been moving behind the scenes while you were learning endurance, humility, obedience, and courage. God was strengthening your spirit so that when the victory arrived, it would not crush you but elevate you. Many people ask God for blessings, but they are not ready to carry them. God loves you too much to release victory before your character is ready to sustain it. Right now, God is restoring what was lost. Not just partially, not symbolically, but fully. What you lost in years of struggle, God can restore in a moment. What took years to break, God can rebuild in an instant. Do not measure God's power by human time. God operates outside of limitation. One word from God can overturn decades of hardship. One decision from God can reverse what looked permanent. You are not too late. You are not behind. You are exactly where God intended you to be for this moment of divine intervention. There are forces that tried to stop you. There were voices that tried to discourage you. There were situations designed to drain your faith and make you quit. But look at you, you are still standing. That alone is proof that God has been holding you. You should not have survived what you went through, but you did, because God was guarding you even when you did not realize it. When you were weak, God was strong for you. When you were confused, God was guiding you. When you were tired, God was carrying you. And now the same God who preserved you is about to promote you. Victory does not always arrive with noise. Sometimes it comes quietly, like a seed breaking through the soil. But once it emerges, nothing can stop its growth. God is releasing favor over your life that will open doors you did not knock on. God is positioning people who will recognize your value without explanation. God is shifting circumstances that once worked against you to now work for you. What once resisted you will now cooperate with you. This is what happens when God steps in. Do not let your past convince you that your future will be the same. God is not bound by your history. God is not limited by your mistakes. God is not discouraged by your failures. God specializes in turning broken stories into powerful testimonies. You may have fallen, but you were never abandoned. You may have failed, but you were never rejected. God has been watching over you with patience and purpose, waiting for the right time to reveal what was hidden. Right now, God is asking you to lift your expectation. Faith is not passive. Faith is not silent. Faith is an active agreement with God's word. When you believe, you align yourself with divine power. When you trust, you invite God to act. Fear delays what faith accelerates. Doubt weakens what belief strengthens. God responds to faith not because God needs it, but because faith positions you to receive what God has already prepared. Some of you are about to see sudden breakthroughs. Situations that have been stagnant for years will change quickly. Long-standing problems will dissolve faster than you imagine. Financial pressure will lift. Emotional burdens will release. Opportunities will appear where there were none. This is not coincidence. This is divine timing. God knows exactly when to act, and God never acts too early or too late. You must understand this. When God moves you into victory, it is not just for your comfort. It is for your calling. Your victory will speak louder than your words ever could. People who doubted you will be forced to reconsider. People who dismissed you will be amazed. Not so that you can boast, but so that God's power can be made visible through your life. Your life is becoming a living message that God is faithful. Do not shrink back now. Do not lower your standard now. Do not compromise your faith now. You are closer than you think. The pressure you felt was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to refine you. Pressure reveals strength. Fire reveals purity. Storms reveal foundations. And you have proven that your foundation is solid. There is a confidence that comes when you know God is with you. It is not arrogance, it is assurance. It is the calm strength of someone who knows that no matter what happens, God is in control. Walk with that confidence, speak with that authority, move with that expectation. You are not hoping for victory, you are stepping into it. Some people tried to rush the process and missed the purpose, but you stayed, you endured, you trusted. And now God is rewarding your faithfulness. Victory does not always come to the fastest, but it always comes to the faithful. God honors those who honor God. God lifts those who remain humble. God strengthens those who rely on God alone. There are doors opening now that were closed before. There are paths clearing that were blocked before. There is clarity where there was confusion. There is peace where there was anxiety. This is the atmosphere of victory. This is what happens when God moves on your behalf. Do not question it. Do not overanalyze it. Receive it with gratitude and confidence. Even now, God is speaking to your spirit, reminding you of promises you almost forgot. Promises that seemed impossible, promises that looked unrealistic, promises that others laughed at. God never forgot them. God never changed them. God never canceled them. God waited for the right moment, and that moment has arrived. You are not walking into victory alone. OD is walking with you. God goes before you to prepare the way. God stands beside you to strengthen you. God watches over you to protect you. When God is involved, defeat is not an option. Obstacles become stepping stones. Opposition becomes confirmation. Resistance becomes evidence that something powerful is about to happen. There will be people who do not understand your elevation. Let them wonder. There will be people who feel uncomfortable with your growth. Let them adjust. You do not need approval when you have divine alignment. You do not need validation when God has already spoken. Your assignment is not to explain yourself. It is to remain obedient. God is moving your life into alignment with divine purpose. What you are entering now will require greater faith, greater discipline, and greater dependence on God. But you are ready. You have been prepared through hardship, refined through struggle, and strengthened through endurance. The very things that tried to break you have shaped you into someone capable of carrying victory with wisdom and humility. As God lifts you, remember where you came from. Remember the nights you cried. Remember the days you doubted. Remember the moments you almost gave up. Not to dwell there, but to appreciate how far God has brought you. Gratitude keeps victory flowing. Pride stops it. Stay thankful. Stay grounded. Stay faithful. This is not the time to be silent about your faith. This is the time to stand firm, speak life, speak confidence, speak expectation. Words carry power. What you speak consistently, you empower spiritually. Align your words with what God is doing, not with what you fear. You may not see every detail yet, but you do not need to. God does not reveal everything at once. God reveals enough to keep you moving forward. Trust grows when you walk without full sight. Obedience grows when you act without full understanding. Victory grows when you move without hesitation. Right now, chains are breaking. Mental limitations are dissolving. Old fears are losing their grip. You are stepping into a new level of freedom. Freedom to believe bigger. Freedom to dream again, freedom to expect more. This is what happens when God moves. Do not return to what God delivered you from. Do not reconnect with what God disconnected you from. Old patterns cannot sustain new blessings. Old mindsets cannot manage new favor. God is calling you forward, not backward. Even now, God is opening your eyes to see possibilities you never noticed before. Ideas are forming. Vision is sharpening. Courage is rising. That is not accidental. That is God preparing you to receive and steward victory wisely. There are moments when God does not just answer a prayer, but reshapes the person who prayed it. What you are experiencing now is not merely an outcome, it is a transformation. God is not only giving you victory, God is enlarging your capacity to live in victory. There is a difference. Many receive blessings but remain small in their thinking, fragile in their faith, unstable in their spirit. God has been stretching you so that what is coming will not overwhelm you, but will rest upon you with peace and confidence. This is why the process felt heavy. This is why the road felt long. God was building something inside you that no one could see, but everyone will soon recognize. Understand this deeply. Victory is not always about changing circumstances. Sometimes it is about changing authority. God is shifting authority back into your hands. What once controlled you no longer has permission. What once intimidated you no longer has power. What once silenced you no longer defines you. God is restoring your voice, your confidence, your spiritual strength. You are no longer reacting to life, you are responding with wisdom. That is a sign that God has elevated you internally before elevating you externally. There is a spiritual law at work. What God establishes inwardly will eventually manifest outwardly. Before God changes your environment, God stabilizes your heart. Before God opens doors around you, God opens understanding within you. That is why you can sense calm even before everything is resolved. That peace is not denial, it is alignment. When you are aligned with God, you can stand in the middle of uncertainty without panic because you know God is orchestrating outcomes beyond your sight. Some of you are realizing that the struggle was not just against circumstances, but against identity. The battle tried to convince you that you were weak, forgotten, insignificant, but God has been revealing truth little by little, that you are chosen for impact, entrusted with purpose, designed for influence, not influence that shouts, but influence that shifts atmospheres, not power that dominates, but authority that stabilizes. God entrusts victory to those who will not abuse it. Now hear this. When God moves you into victory, resistance does not always disappear. It changes form. Instead of open opposition, there may be subtle distractions. Instead of loud attacks, there may be quiet temptations to compromise, to rush, to settle. This is where discernment matters. Victory requires vigilance. Stay attentive to God's guidance. What God gives suddenly must be guarded daily. There is a sacred responsibility attached to answered prayers. God expects growth to match blessing. That is why discipline becomes more important than excitement. Consistency becomes more valuable than applause. Obedience becomes more powerful than talent. God is not impressed by speed. God is honored by faithfulness. The victory God gives you is meant to last, not just impress. Some of you are entering a season 2 ere God will trust you with influence over others. People will listen to you differently. They will seek your counsel. They will observe your choices. Remember this, your life is a message even when you are silent. Let your character speak. Let your humility anchor your success. Let gratitude remain your language. God lifts those who remain teachable even at the top. God is also healing areas you learn to live with but were never meant to carry. Emotional wounds that you buried under strength are being gently uncovered and restored. God does not want you victorious but internally fractured. God wants wholeness. Healing is not weakness, it is readiness. When God heals your heart, your future decisions become clearer, wiser, and freer. There is also a shift happening in how you perceive time. You are no longer desperate for instant results because you understand divine timing. You are learning to move with patience without losing urgency, to wait without losing faith. This maturity is itself a victory. Many fail, not because God did not act, but because they could not wait long enough to see what God was preparing. God is also teaching you when to speak and when to remain silent. Not every victory needs announcement. Some victories need protection. What God is growing in you must be guarded from unnecessary exposure. Wisdom knows when to celebrate openly and when to progress quietly. Silence is not weakness when it is guided by God. You are entering a phase where your decisions will carry greater weight. Small choices will produce larger consequences. That is not pressure, that is promotion. God is trusting you with impact. Stay anchored, stay prayerful, stay aware. The higher you go, the deeper your roots must be. Those who fall from success often fail to strengthen their foundation while ascending. There will be moments ahead when people project their expectati onto you. They will want you to move faster, give more, explain yourself, prove yourself. You are not obligated to meet every expectation, only to remain aligned with God. Your assignment is not to satisfy people, but to steward what God has placed in your care. Boundaries protect destiny. God is also reminding you that victory does not mean immunity from challenges. It means authority within challenges. You may still face opposition, but now you face it from a position of strength rather than fear. You may still encounter uncertainty, but now you navigate it with trust rather than panic. This is the difference God makes. Some of you are about to step into unfamiliar territory, new responsibilities, new environments, new expectations. Do not shrink. Unfamiliar does not mean unsafe. God often leads you into spaces that require growth because stagnation cannot sustain destiny. Trust that God's presence goes with you wherever God sends you. Remember this truth: God never calls you without equipping you. If God allowed the opportunity, God has already provided the ability. If God opened the door, God has already prepared the support. Your confidence does not come from knowing everything. It comes from knowing God is with you in everything. There is also a deeper invitation God is extending, not just to receive from God, but to walk with God more intimately. Victory without closeness can become empty. Success without connection can become exhausting. God desires relationship more than results. When you walk closely with God, victory becomes sustainable rather than stressful. Stay sensitive to small instructions. Often the greatest outcomes are tied to simple obedience. Do not overlook the quiet nudges, the gentle redirections, the subtle warnings. God speaks in many ways, and those who listen carefully move steadily. You are becoming someone who carries peace into such chaos, clarity into confusion, hope into heaviness. This is not accidental. God is shaping you to be a stabilizing presence. In a world driven by noise and fear, calm authority stands out. That calm is evidence of trust. As you move forward, remember that gratitude keeps your spirit light. Celebrate progress, not just completion. Honor the journey, not just the destination. Every step forward matters. Every lesson learned matters. Every act of obedience matters. God is still moving. Even when you rest, God works. Even when you pause, God arranges. Even when you sleep, God prepares. Your responsibility is not to control outcomes, but to remain faithful in action. What is unfolding in your life now is larger than you imagine, because God's plans always exceed human expectation. Stay open, stay humble, stay courageous. Let faith guide your decisions, and let trust steady your heart. There is a deeper work God is doing now that goes beyond what you can see or feel. God is recalibrating your inner compass. Where you once moved by urgency, you now move by discernment. Where you once reacted emotionally, you now respond spiritually. This is not accidental growth, this is intentional refinement. God is teaching you to recognize divine timing, to sense when to advance and when to pause. Many miss their victory not because God did not provide it, but because they move without alignment. You are learning alignment, and alignment multiplies power. You must understand that God's movement in your life is not random. It is strategic. Every connection being formed, every door being opened, every door being closed is part of a precise orchestration. God sees the full picture while you see only moments. What feels like an interruption is often a redirection. What feels like an ending is often a transition. Trusting God now requires maturity, not emotion. It requires standing firm even. When reassurance is quiet, God is also breaking old agreements you made with limitation. At one point, you accepted certain outcomes as permanent because you did not see another option. But God never agreed with your limitation. God allowed the process, not the confinement. Now God is expanding your perspective so you can perceive possibilities you were once blind to. Expansion begins in the mind before it appears in life. As your thinking changes, your capacity increases. There is a sacred courage rising within you, a courage that does not shout but stands, a courage that does not need to prove but simply proceeds. This is the courage that comes from knowing God is backing you. When God supports your steps, you do not need to rush or compete. What is meant for you will not pass you by. What God has written for your life does not require force, it requires faith. Some of the pressure you felt was not resistance, but compression. God compresses before God expands, just as pressure forms strength. God has been forming resilience within you. That resilience will allow you to stand steady when others would collapse under the same responsibility. Victory without resilience leads to collapse. God is ensuring sustainability, not just success. There is also a purification happening in your desires. What once appealed to you no longer satisfies you. What once distracted you no longer holds your attention. This is not loss, this is clarity. God is refining your focus so that your energy is not wasted on what cannot fulfill your purpose. Focus is power when guided by God. God is teaching you how to carry authority without harshness, confidence without pride, strength without aggression. This balance is rare and it is valuable. It allows you to influence without intimidation and lead without control. People will feel safe around you, even as they respect you. That is divine. Leadership. Do not underestimate the importance of obedience in small moments. The quiet decisions, the unseen discipline, the private integrity, these are the foundations of public victory. God watches what you do when no one applauds. Faithfulness in secret produces authority in the open. There will be moments when you are tempted to look back at those who wronged you, doubted you, or left you behind. Release them, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve freedom. Carrying resentment consumes energy meant for growth. God is lifting you higher, and excess weight cannot go with you. God is also restoring joy to you, not excitement based on outcomes, but joy rooted in trust. This joy does not fluctuate with circumstances. It remains steady even when challenges arise. Joy is a sign of confidence in God's governance. It is quiet proof that you believe God is in control. As your influence grows, so will the need for discernment in relationships. Not everyone who celebrates you is assigned to walk with you. Not everyone who praises you understands your calling. God will help you distinguish between connections that support destiny and connections that simply enjoy proximity. Wisdom will protect you from unnecessary confusion. There is also a call for generosity in this season, not just generosity of resources, but generosity of spirit. Be generous with encouragement, with patience, with understanding. God often flows abundance through those who keep their hearts open rather than guarded. Generosity keeps the channel clear. God is preparing you to operate from overflow rather than exhaustion. You are learning to rest without guilt, to pause without fear. Rest is not retreat, it is renewal. God does some of the deepest work when you stop striving and allow trust to take its place. The victory unfolding in your life will challenge you to maintain humility. Humility does not deny strength, it acknowledges the source. When you remain aware that God is the foundation of your progress, gratitude remains natural, and pride finds no place to grow. You are also learning that not every battle requires confrontation. Some victories come through restraint. Silence can be a strategy. Distance can be protection. God will show you when to speak and when to let outcomes speak for you. God's movement in your life is also awakening responsibility toward others. You will find yourself more aware of the impact of your words and actions. This awareness is a gift. It sharpens wisdom and deepens compassion. Influence guided by compassion builds lasting legacy. There will be days ahead when progress feels slow again. Do not panic. Growth is not linear. God works in rhythms and seasons. What matters is consistency, not speed. Stay steady, stay aligned. Momentum will return. God is also strengthening your ability to trust without control. Control is rooted in fear. Trust is rooted in faith. As you release the need to manage every outcome, peace increases. Peace is a sign that trust is taking root. Your story is becoming layered, rich with lessons that cannot be learned quickly. One day, you will look back and realize that the waiting protected you, the struggle refined you, and the silence taught you to listen. Nothing was wasted. As you continue forward, remember that God's guidance is not always loud, but it is always consistent. Pay attention to patterns, to repeated confirmations, to the steady sense of direction. God is faithful to guide those who are willing to follow. This victory is not fragile. It is grounded. It is supported by discipline, strengthened by faith, sustained by obedience. Walk forward without fear of losing it. What God establishes, God preserves. And as each step unfolds, let your heart remain anchored in trust, yo. Our mind steady in truth, your spirit open in humility, because God is not finished. God is not slowing down. God is not withdrawing. God is continuing to move, to shape, to guide, to elevate, to refine, and to lead you forward into deeper purpose, greater clarity, stronger faith, and a victory that continues to expand, mature, and unfold under the watchful power and perfect wisdom of God alone. There is another dimension God is opening to you now, and it is the dimension of stewardship. Victory is not only something to celebrate, it is something to manage. God watches closely what you do after the breakthrough. Many pray for change, but you prepare for responsibility. God is training you to handle increase with wisdom, not impulse. What God places in your hands must first be settled in your heart. When your heart is stable, your hands will not misuse what God entrusts to you. You are also being taught the power of restraint after triumph. It is easy to relax discipline once pressure lifts, but God is calling you to deepen discipline, not abandon it. Consistency after victory is proof of maturity. God is not impressed by how strongly you start. God is honored by how faithfully you continue. The habits you maintain now will determine the longevity of what God has released. There will be moments when the excitement fades and routine returns. Do not misinterpret that as decline. Routine is where strength is built. Routine is where faith is proven. God does not dwell only in moments of intensity. God is present in daily obedience. Those who learn to honor God in ordinary moments carry extraordinary authority over time. God is also revealing to you that not every test comes before victory. Some tests come after. After increase, humility is tested. After influence, integrity is tested. After recognition, obedience is tested. These tests are subtle, but they are critical. Passing them keeps the flow of God's favor steady and unhindered. There is a sharpening happening in your discernment. You are becoming quicker to sense what aligns with God and what subtly pulls you away. This sensitivity is protection. God does not want you distracted by things that look good but lead nowhere. Direction matters more than opportunity. Not every open door is meant to be entered. God will teach you to recognize the difference. You are also stepping into a deeper understanding of trust. Trust does not mean everything will be easy. It means you will not be shaken when things are unclear. God is strengthening your ability to remain anchored when answers are delayed. That steadiness is rare and it is powerful. It allows God to work without interruption. God is also awakening compassion within you, not the kind that weakens boundaries, but the kind that understands pain without absorbing it. You are learning to care without carrying, to support without sacrificing your assignment. This balance protects your energy and preserves your purpose. As your awareness grows, you will notice how God uses quiet moments to speak deeply. Stillness will become valuable to you. In stillness, clarity forms. In stillness, direction sharpens. Noise confuses, but stillness aligns. God often whispers wisdom that changes everything. You are also learning that gratitude is not just a response to blessing, it is a posture that attracts it. Gratitude keeps your spirit open. It prevents entitlement. It keeps joy alive even when circumstances fluctuate. God delights in hearts that remain thankful, not only when prayers are answered, but while they are still unfolding. There will be seasons when you feel called to give more than you receive. Do not resist that season. Giving stretches capacity. Giving builds trust. God often uses generosity to prepare you for greater responsibility. What flows through you can increase. What stops with you stagnates. God is also reminding you that rest is sacred. Not escape, not laziness, but intentional renewal. Rest recalibrates your spirit. It keeps your vision clear. It prevents burnout disguised as dedication. God does not ask you to prove your worth through exhaustion. God values obedience over overextension. As you continue walking forward, you will notice that fear tries to return in quieter forms. Hesitation, overthinking, self-doubt. Recognize it for what it is and refuse agreement. Fear only has power when it is entertained. Faith grows when fear is denied permission. God is also shaping your language. Words matter more now. What you speak carries weight. Speak truth even when emotion disagrees. Speak confidence even when outcomes are not visible. Words aligned with faith reinforce direction. God responds to words that agree with divine intention. You will encounter moments when letting go is required again. Letting go of expectations, timelines, even familiar successes. God sometimes asks for release not because something is wrong, but because something greater requires space. Trusting God includes trusting what God removes as much as what God provides. There is also a strengthening of endurance taking place. Not endurance to survive, but endurance to remain effective over time. God is preparing you not just for a season, but for a journey. Quick victories impress people, but sustained faithfulness honors God. You are becoming more aware that your life is being used to encourage others silently. People are watching how you carry pressure, how you respond to delay, how you remain grounded in success. Your examples speak. God uses lived faith to restore hope in others. God is also inviting you to deepen humility, not self-diminishing, but God-centered awareness. Humility keeps you teachable. It keeps correction welcome. It keeps growth continuous. Those who remain humble never stop learning, and those who keep learning never stop growing. There will be times when you feel misunderstood. Do not rush to correct perception. Time reveals truth. Consistency clarifies intention. God defends those who remain aligned. You do not need to fight every misunderstanding. God will vindicate through outcome. God is steadily anchoring you in purpose rather than approval. Approval shifts, but purpose remains. when your identity is rooted in God's assignment rather than external validation, stability follows. You become unmovable. You are also learning to recognize when to move forward boldly and when to wait quietly. This discernment prevents regret. It protects timing. God's pace may feel slower than urgency, but it is always faster than repair. As you continue, let faith remain active, not emotional. Let trust remain steady, not conditional. Let obedience remain consistent, not selective. These are the qualities that sustain what God is building. And so you keep walking, aware, grounded, attentive, not striving, not forcing, not retreating, knowing that God is still arranging details you cannot see, still strengthening foundations you do not feel, still guiding steps that will make sense later, still unfolding victory layer by layer, moment by moment, under the authority, wisdom, and perfect will of God alone.